Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we're going to be talking about The Mandalorian Season 3 and some confusion and controversy surrounding a new article about Darth Maul being cut from the Kenobi series. So without much further ado and without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. We begin with some new information for The Mandalorian Season 3. In the Book of Boba Fett, Djarin was expelled from the tribe for showing his face, and the only way to repent now is for him to travel to the living waters under the mines of Mandalore. Well, Bespin Bulletin have confirmed that we will indeed see these mines in Season 3. Let's dive into what they had to say. In late December and early January, I saw evidence of a cave set built at the train yard location in El Segundo. It's one that The Mandalorian, Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Book of Boba Fett have used in the past, and the cave had a blue screen in front of it, and a single source added that they believe the blue screen is going to be used as a lake. At the time, Bespin Bulletins say they thought nothing of this, and they just thought it was a simple cave set. That was until January the 26th, when the Book of Boba Fett showed the return of Djarin. In the episode, the armourer spoke briefly about the mines of Mandalore, and that's when Bespin Bulletin learned that the cave set was indeed for these mines of Mandalore for The Mandalorian Season 3. We are now in March, and the train yard location has gone through multiple changes since, including a campsite with an unknown ship. But more recently they've heard that once again a cave set has been built. The cave is black and has black sand or dirt in front of it. They don't know if it's just an evolution of the cave set or if it's unrelated. Around the same time, they were told that scenes were being filmed which featured a large mountain with snow on top of it in the background, and that Djarin, the armourer and Paz Vizsla were required for those scenes. And it's Bespin Bulletin's belief that these are connected to the cave set. There were other characters in that scene as well, but they're not sure if they're Mandalorians or not. So now that the Book of Boba Fett has passed, and we know that Mandalore is going to feature in Season 3 of Mando, they are absolutely sure that these sets scream Mandalore. And the fact that the cave has a lake could suggest that these are the living waters beneath the mines of Mandalore, with the cave sets being the entrance. The cave and the ground being black are possibly burnt from the hellfire of the Great Purge. Time will tell what this all means, but they believe that these sets are for Mandalore because we know that the planet is going to be front and centre in the upcoming third season. And at this point, my dear Mandalorians, we've heard many rumours of multiple Mandos showing up as well. Familiar ones like Favreau and new ones we haven't heard of. Bespin Bulletin and a few others have said there are more details to come for Season 3, so I'm going to keep you guys updated when we have new information. Jon Favreau recently teased that in Season 3, the question of Mando's identity, the identity of Djarin, is going to be prominent, notably if he's going to defect from the tribe and realise that he can be a Mandalorian without following the strict way of the Children of the Watch. It'll be very interesting to see if he actually atones or not. I think Season 3 is going to be absolutely decisive for many plot threads. Share your thoughts down below. So now, my dear friends, we have quite a lot of Kenobi news to talk about. The Hollywood Reporter published an article that claimed Darth Maul was originally set to feature in the Kenobi series, but was then cut. I'm going to talk about the validity of this article in a moment, but let's see what they had to say. Their sources note that Filoni and Favreau were concerned about Obi-Wan covering similar ground as The Mandalorian. The lone wolf and cub-like story of Kenobi coming out of hiding to protect a child-aged Luke Skywalker. They say Maul was meant to be one of the villains who would participate in the hunt for the pair. Vader was reportedly nowhere to be found at this early stage, according to those with knowledge of the project. They also say that Filoni and Favreau pushed Deborah Chow and the show to, quote, go bigger. In any case, those concerns made their way to Lucasfilm head Kathleen Kennedy, who pressed the pause button. Joby Harold was eventually hired as the show's new writer. It is unclear how far along the process things initially unravelled. As far as Ray Park's Maul goes, this picture is more cloudy. One source claims that Park was on set in pre-production and was also involved in stunt training. The source says that footage of Park may have been shot, although another source says it could have been test footage. Whatever the case, Park was back as Maul, or so he believed. In the overhaul, however, Maul was written out, and a lot of Star Wars fans have been speculating that the reason he was cut from the show was due to that infamous Instagram post. The Hollywood Reporter then say it was Filoni that conceptually keyed in on a way for Vader to be brought back as the big bad. And the final thing they say on Maul, which is really important, is that a Lucasfilm source contradicted the account, saying Maul was never intended to return for the series, nor did Park come to set. And this last bit is what I've seen a lot of other reliable sources claim too. So last night, when this article started circulating, there was a bit of controversy of how much information was correct. I know that the Hollywood Reporter are about as reliable as it gets, but other sources and outlets who've gotten things right so far, like Making Star Wars, have stated Maul was never involved in the Kenobi show, and that Darth Vader was always supposed to be in it right from the outset. There was never a single draft of the script that did not include Vader, even if that's the way it's been spun in recent days. And this morning, Bespin Bulletin published a very telling article. Lucasfilm creative executive denies Darth Maul was the original main antagonist in Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now look, when it comes to Maul, it was always more of a fan wish for him to be included in the show, but even if he was, they would have to do it in a way that does not contradict the Twin Sons episode of Star Wars Rebels later in the timeline. In other words, even if Maul was in the Kenobi series, at all costs, he could not have been able to find Kenobi yet. Maybe he could have faced off with Darth Vader, as I once put forward in a theory video, but in either case, do not expect Maul in Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it's likely that he was never even part of that plan. Now, the Hollywood Reporter also confirmed that during the overhaul of the Kenobi series, where the first script was scrapped, they also had to search for a new young Luke Skywalker, and an actor was picked. And we now know that Grant Feely is going to be playing young Luke. And so finally, my dear friends, we have a new report from Making Star Wars about the Kenobi series. As always, turn away now if you don't want to be spoiled. I'm not gonna lie to you, this is pretty comedic, and it involves a female Jawa. Given that my intro includes Utini, you can expect me to be on the forefront of every bit of Jawa news. Let's dive into it. So apparently in the Kenobi series, there is one creature that Kenobi does interact with in a peculiar relationship, a Jawa. But do not get any Pelimoto vibes here. Their friendship is strictly business, but their relationship does sound hilarious. The Jawa's name is Tika, and she is, quote, always stealing Obi-Wan's shit and selling it back to him. But Tika the Jawa is important because she sells Obi-Wan a T-16 Skyhopper toy in the final edit of the series. Kenobi looks at the T-16 Skyhopper and decides that Luke might like it. So he walks over to the last homestead and leaves the toy on the property, knowing that Luke will find it. However, Uncle Owen discovers it and puts it away, and he tells Obi-Wan to stop bringing toys to Luke when they have their scheduled meeting at Anchorhead. This T-16 Skyhopper is probably the same one we see in A New Hope. Some really awesome details there, and I love the fact that we're going to see more Jawa action. But let me know your thoughts of this and everything we spoke about in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, my dear friends, as always, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and as always, a massive welcome if you are. And if you want more videos that you can't find here on YouTube, while also getting access to our Discord server and much more, then click the link down below. But until the next one, guys, may the Force be with you always. I'm Star Wars Meg. Have a good one.